I know many of you guys are like me, that when you were a kid, well, you just dreamed about driving a dump truck, didn't you? Eh? And a lot of you guys, as you got older, you had to abandon your childhood dreams, and the rest of you are bachelors. So I thought, as a public service this week, I would show you how to turn an ordinary car into a dump truck. This car actually has two things that make it the perfect dump truck: front-wheel drive and absolutely no resale value. I'll explain about the front-wheel drive in a minute, but first of all, I got to customize the body a little bit. Here's the beauty of the creative process. I need something to use as a divider between the driver and the load that I'll be dumping. Now, I'm not just going to head down to the auto supply store with a checkbook, because the bank manager warned me about doing that again. No, I'm going to search for something that we can use out of our existing inventory. Like, say, this perfectly good trunk lid. All right, well, you know, you want to wear the welding goggles when you're doing that kind of work. Bernice must have put mine somewhere where I can't find them. She doesn't like me welding ever since we lost the garage. Anyway, now we're ready to actually install the dumping mechanism. And for that, you got to put some stuff on the front wheels. Get yourself a couple extra rims like this, and then you want to attach some heavy pipe in a crisscross on the outside edge. Just weld that on there, too. Sure wish I had those goggles. See now, these special wheels, once I line them up with a couple of step ladders, they become my dumping mechanism. Because when I throw her in drive, special wheels climb the ladder, see? That's why the car had to be front-wheel drive. I know what you're thinking. Remember, the women don't find you handsome. They should at least find you handy. And now, if you'll excuse me, it's time to dump. You know, other than about a week in October, I basically did nothing last year, and I was fine with that. But even though I was doing nothing, my mind was still thinking about stuff. Stuff that I hadn't done and should have. Stuff that I had done and shouldn't have. But mainly it was coming up with a lot more evidence that, as far as I'm concerned, proves that I'm right and almost everybody else is wrong. And that was fine too, but where I made my mistake was that I shared all that with my friends and especially my wife. And before you knew it, they were suggesting that I gather up all those opinions and stories and take them on the road where they belong. I even went to see my doctor to make sure I was healthy enough to tour again, and he gave me the go-ahead. He said I probably wouldn't get sick on the road, but even if I did, he'd prefer I was thousands of miles away when it happened. So I put together a brand new show, and I'm calling it I'm Not Old, I'm Ripe. And we're going to be doing about 25 cities, starting in St. Pete, Florida on March the 30th, and we're going to end up in the middle of May somewhere out west. It's basically a lodge meeting, and if you want to find out where I'm going to be and when I'm going to be there, go to redgreen.com, click on the city that's nearest to you. I'm hoping you can all make it, or I'm hoping a few of you can make it. I think it's going to be my best show yet, and if you saw the first two, you know that's certainly doable. So looking forward to a successful tour. Otherwise, my friends and my wife are going to look like idiots. Until then, I'm hoping to see you at the lodge meeting. And meanwhile, keep your stick on the ice.